I said to you in my opening remarks, last year we organized the Ops Forum together with Embraer. Then the second leg was part to experience the E2, one, in my opinion, one of the best aircraft. Also, I like the NASA. You know, I'm an aviation person. I love to hear the engine. It's a nice sound of the engine. But I think Michal Nowak, that is Vice President in Embraer, will give us a little bit an update on current operation and with all the current situation. Then Michal, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Before I go to my little short speech, kudos and shout out to Kostas. It's been already several times that I had the privilege to attend your events. We love the intimacy and you do something different. I see some of the repeating faces here, but some new faces. This year we as Embraer wanted to sponsor once again, but due to some formalities, the sponsorship was blocked, but Kostas, I think in a spirit of believing in the long-term nature of our relationship, still didn't close the doors for me, but accepted me being here. I'm really happy for this. Thank you, Kostas, and I'm looking forward to future cooperation. Now for my 15-minute speech today, I'm gonna maybe bring you from more pragmatic topic, very pragmatic, important that we discuss now, to more high-level topics of macro environment that the aviation is operating today. I wanted to speak about complexity and uncertainty because this industry, I think more than any other that I know, rewards those who can navigate complexity. But right now complexity is really on the rise from all directions. I think it will be a bit of a cliche to say that aviation is on the crossroads. We for sure heard it many times. But we at Embraer have recently worked on the latest edition of our market outlook, and this triggered me to kind of take a step back and think where the industry is. And I honestly believe that it's ahead of the biggest transformation in at least 2-3 decades. Why is that? I see three major trends that somehow coexist, completely different trends, and I would like to speak a bit about them and tell you how we believe that Embraer can somehow fit in or address with our value proposition into those trends. But before I dig into this, a very short, quick context about Embraer, who we are. So we are a fairly balanced, diversified aerospace company present in defense, executive jet, and commercial aviation. I represent commercial aviation. This is my background. Within commercial aviation, we are the third largest manufacturer, but historically we've been known by being a regional player, the provider of the regional aircraft. This is something, the kind of a tagline that we are now trying to get away from. We are going through some kind of a transformation ourselves. By now we have over 1,900 aircraft E-jet flying for more than 90 operators globally in 60 different countries. But our biggest threat right now is the new generation of aircraft called E2, and this is the largest aircraft that we have ever made. This is the aircraft that we try to position now as a small narrow body rather than regional jet. Somehow successfully, for those of you who ever attended the ISTAT events, ISTAT always used to have a regional aircraft panel. Now they renamed it into small narrow body panels. Only last week, Cirium Ascent, which is one of the biggest appraisers and evaluators in the world, reclassified Embraer from regional aircraft into small narrow body. So hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, we see that our efforts are being recognized in the market. Since 2022, which is only 3 years ago, we acquired 11 new operators for the E2 aircraft, ranging from Virgin Australia through Royal Jordanian, Los Polish Airlines, Scoot, ANA. So this shows that there is a really strong adoption rate, which we are very happy with. But back to the trends that I wanted to cover. The first one is geopolitics, but geopolitics means also uncertainty as to where the demand will be for the air travel. I believe that aviation was built on the idea that the world would stay open, or at least this is the principle that we got used to over the last 30 years. We connected economics to trade, we connected them to tourism, migration, but I think all of those are now under certain pressure. Airlines have built certain networks, OEM have built supply chains, global supply chains. The traffic grew predictably 5-6% a year before COVID, but that model is now under huge pressure. I think we started with war in Ukraine, we started with US-China tensions, but now we see that things are accelerating. We have instability in the Middle East. We have all this debate and discussion around tariffs. So it's fair to say that these might not be isolated instances, but it is more of a structural reality that is starting to be baked into our industry, and above all needs to be baked into airline long-term planning. Few examples. Airspace closures became a routine, right? Today Eurocontrol still needs to reroute hundreds of flights on a daily basis. On our side, supply chain. We have to completely rethink the supply chain. The terms like nearshoring, friendshoring are becoming the talk of the industry. The global trade map is being completely redrawn. But something that touches us even more really, aircraft as an asset is becoming a political currency. We see more and more aircraft orders being part of this global geopolitical game. Qatar order, the fleet process selection in Morocco. Even my home country, unfortunately, Embraer lost a big campaign with Polish Airlines last week, but it is quite commonly discussed that there was a big element of geopolitics in this decision. What does it mean for the airlines, and what does it mean for us? There's an impact on demand. The growth forecasts for air travel have been progressively reduced downwards. From 5-6 years pre-COVID, directly as we went out of the COVID, there was an open question whether we're going to kind of catch up with the historic trend or not. We always believed that some of the COVID changes will remain for good, and I think more and more industries align that we're not going to see those growth rates as in the past. Consensus today between Boeing, Airbus, ourselves, and IATA is that the growth rate will be between 3.5% and 4% maximum, and year after year we are reducing them downwards. On top of the total volume, we also see the shift in where the demand is. We see way more fragmentation as a consequence of the geopolitics, which means more demand for domestic and regional traffic rather than development of huge intercontinental traffic flows. And airlines must respond in terms of how they plan the fleets and networks. In terms of where Embraer finds itself, I think this is where we begin. The E2 family, especially E190 and E195 E2, are designed for this environment of thinner routes with right-sized capacity and strong economics. Because in the more fragmented world, we tend to say it's not about how much you can grow, it's more about where you can grow with confidence and profitably. And we try to help our customers out with it. So one mega trend is how to handle geopolitics. The second one is sustainability. It's nothing that happened this year. I think this is something that we are learning to handle for the past couple of years. And I think it's not the challenge of if, but it's a challenge of confusion around how. Because I think almost everyone across industry agrees that aviation must decarbonize. Everyone talks about the same technologies, hydrogen, electric, sustainable aviation fuels, but I think still today, if you ask 10 experts about how the fleet of the future in 2040s or 50s would look like, you will get 10 different answers. And this is something that our customers, airlines, need to live and breathe and somehow make the decision about. But we have a pretty blunt, I think, perspective on it. We are quite open saying hydrogen might be an fuel for the future, but will not be a solution for aviation until 2050, and we have to act now. We see a lot of airport infrastructure, energy, and certification challenges for hydrogen. We see by now that electric is a very nice, and electric and hybrid technologies are very nice technologies, but scalable only with the aircraft up to 9, maybe 19 seats, which will not be a scalable solution for a commercial aviation industry. SAF is critical, but it's scarce and very expensive right now. So what we want to remind to everyone is that 80% of the aircraft that are being ordered today will still be in operation well into the 40s. What does it mean? It really means that you have to focus on what is available today, on maximizing the efficiency today. We, just like our competitors, we offer to our customers aircraft that can be a step change in CO2 efficiency versus previous generation. We believe that we made one step more than our customers. We not only put the new engines on our aircraft, but really redesigned it and made it the most efficient commercial jet, I would dare to say, out there in a single air market. So with just one decision, you can reduce fuel burning CO2 emissions by up to 29%, and not only have the impact on the CO2 today, but also significantly lower the demand for the SAF fuels, which will be needed in the next 5, 10 years. And finally, we believe that more than ever in this facing the sustainability challenge, airlines need to rethink what kind of a demand do they serve. The last 20 years were the years of the low cost, where we really focused on volume. And we bought larger and larger jets, and if the demand wasn't there, we simply lowered the fares to stimulate this demand. Embraer's philosophy forever was match the capacity to the organic demand, and I think this is another lever to pull to make aviation more sustainable. And the third and final trend that I wanted to say is, I think, something that I still haven't seen any of the reports, because I think geopolitics and sustainability, every single aviation conference, any article, report, you will find those names. But I am looking more and more about AI. And today I don't want to talk about how AI impacts the way we operate as Embraer, how it impacts the design, how it may impact the handling or airport operations. These are all relevant topics, but when I'm talking about megatrends, to me AI is just like internet was 30 years ago. Emergence of internet completely shifted the global economy, shifted the way we work, shifted there were losers, winners and losers. We had new economic centers built around the online economy, and I think it would be naive to think that emergence of AI wouldn't trigger the same changes. What would they be? We still don't know. Two examples that I'm thinking of quite often is corporate travel, right? With the emergence of AI, would it mean that we work even more efficiently on a remote basis, and for example, we will completely stop traveling and the corporate segment will dry out completely? Or is it complete opposite? I read someone commented on LinkedIn and I really liked it. with the emergence of AI in graphics and video, nothing will be real anymore. You will not have trust to any of those technologies, which will in return trigger the demand for more face-to-face meetings and interactions, because this will be the only thing that you can trust. On leisure side, I think the access to the information for the average customer will be another step, right? Many people were thinking whether internet will kill the travel agents because customer will be more empowered. This didn't happen. Of course, travel agents needed to rethink their way of operation. They became online themselves. But the open question is whether AI will be enough to kill all the intermediates. Maybe we're not going to have the toys of this world anymore, because every single person will have a powerful tool to manage. Two examples, quite random, of the things that we need to start thinking. But I think my conclusion is that another trend, another revolution that might impact the way we serve the global economies, the global travel trends, will not come from within aviation, but from outside, which is this AI revolution. To close up, recap, we are navigating landscape defined by geopolitics, which is fragmenting the global aviation map, by sustainability, which is pressing but technologically uncertain, and now artificial intelligence, which is changing or will change how people live and soon how people fly. In this world, we believe scale alone doesn't cut it. What matters now is flexibility, efficiency, and strategic relevance. At Embraer, we're not trying to be everything to everyone, but in an industry that is shaped by uncertainty, we believe we are exactly what many airlines need. Thank you. I hope I was more or less on time.
Perfect.